Everyone is guilty of liking candy, whether it's a sweet chocolate bar or sour little gummies. We've got all our favorites. As much as we love candy, we can all agree that it's not the healthiest thing for us to eat. But just how bad can it be? How would you feel if you knew that some of the sweet indulgence could put you 6 feet under? Well, today we're discussing dangerous banned candies that can kill you. Number 1. Haribo sugar free gummy bears. Haribo undoubtedly makes some of the best gummy bears on the market with unique and flavorful products. They really know how to make the sweet and chewy stuff that people love. However, the company has known a few failures over the years, like the time they tried to make their sugar free gummy bears. Cutting out sugar is a noble goal. After all, sugar is bad for you and damages your teeth. So the idea was good, but the execution? Not so much. You see, in 2014, the poor sugar free gummy bears gathered quite a bit of attention when people started to notice some undesirable side effects following the consumption of the candy. Why is that? Well, because Haribo chose to replace the sugar in their gummy bears with lecithin. Lecithin is a substance almost as sweet as sugar, known as sugar alcohol, and very bad for us. Number 2. Candy cigarettes. Again, this candy itself doesn't need that much explanation as to why it could potentially kill you, as the name suggests. Candy cigarettes were candy made to resemble packs of cigarettes and were made of either chalky sugar, chocolate, or bubble gum. They were wrapped in paper and packaged and branded as real cigarettes. Some even had powdered sugar at the tip so that you could blow through the candy stick and it just looked like you're smoking. So you can probably already see the problem with these. They first began being sold in the late 1900s, and cigarette manufacturers even helped with the production of candy. The branding was used on the candy packets, the perfect way for kids to mirror exactly what the grown ups were doing. Obviously, today candy cigarettes are seen as a way to desensitize children to the idea of smoking, but it took a while for us to reach that conclusion. Medical organizations around the world began to become more aware of the dangers of smoking. So today, these candies are banned practically everywhere except in US, Canada. Some studies have shown that percentage of smokers who had candy cigarettes as a child were higher than those who didn't smoke. So the link between smoking and candy has been made and scientifically proven. Number 3. Milky Way. Ah, Milky Way. A tasty chocolate bar is so good it could send you to another dimension. They say that life is better in Milky Way. But is it healthier? Probably not. It's probably worse, to be completely honest. While it's not all Milky Way bars that are problematic, there is one in particular that could cause a lot of damage. And it's the one we tend to underestimate the most. The Milky Way fun size bars are supposed to help keep calories and sugar intake in check and help with portion control as well. However, that's not exactly the case. Turns out a serving of these small chocolate bars still contain around 20 grams of sugar, which for a teeny two bite candy is a whole lot. Especially knowing the full size variety only contains 10 more grams. It also contains hydrogenated palm kernel oil, which is insanely bad for our hearts, lungs, and environment, and even our survival. It also causes cavities and it's very bad for our teeth. Maybe try to steer clear of those Milky Ways if you care about your health and teeth. Number 4, Hippie Sippy. So cute name, but it's not that much cute or nor cute. The 1960s are notorious for being, let's say, a little experimental. Made in 1968 and imported from Japan, Hippie was living proof that just about anything could make it onto the market back in 60s. This candy was a plastic toy filled with multicolored palettes. So far so good, but to get to the chocolate you needed to suck on a hypodermic like needle which is often associated with drug use. So there's that. Oh, and the colorful chocolate balls were meant to represent uppers and downers, literally designed to replicate the hippie culture. It's easy to see how hippie sippies didn't exactly make parents feel all warm and fuzzy. Encouraging kids to even pretend to take illicit substance isn't good for anybody. To make things even worse, a button was attached with thin tip, branded with sayings, "I'll try anything and we sell happiness." This product was definitely sending the wrong messages to the kid. Glamorizing this bad habit could have an impact on possibility of future drug use. Number 5. Candy corn. Candy corn is probably one of the most hated Halloween candies out there. Actually, scratch that, it's the most hated Halloween candy, at least in America, according to a survey done by candyscore.com. Despite its hated status, a lot of people can't celebrate Halloween without candy corn. However, these devilish candies might be a more of trick than a treat. The reason is pretty simple. It's not a very healthy candy. Well, duh, it's candy, but this particular one has some ingredients that make it even worse. You see, most of the natural ingredients that claim to be in the candy corn have been actually replaced by artificial and chemical versions of them. This is mostly to reduce the cost of production and to increase profit. Even brands that list honey in their ingredients have their fair share of high sugar levels. A serving size of candy corn, which is about 19 pieces, contains 28 grams of sugar, but that's not the only issue. Another key ingredient, the coloring yellow, has been linked to rare but sometimes severe allergic reactions and also run the risk of being contaminated by cancer causing substances. So, yeah, definitely the perfect spooky candy for Halloween after all. Number 6, fun dip. Fun dip. It is fun indeed to consume an insane amount of sugar, especially when it's licked off a candy stick with so many and flavorful options. Fun dip is the perfect way to get the tangy sugar directly into the body. If you're looking for high blood pressure test results and a quick trip to Tenses, so grab a fun dip and eat it. You don't need to hear it from us though. A stick made of sugar dipped into a packet of more sugar doesn't exactly scream healthy. Yes, the calorie count is relatively low, but all trouble lies in sugar. After all, sugar accounts for about 90% of the whole candy. In one single packet, you are looking at a good 13 grams of pure sugar. At this point, you might as well just dip your tongue directly into the sugar bowl at home. It might save you a step or two, but obviously, sugar isn't the only issue. In the past, some young and bright people have tried to make fun dip a little more recreational by inhaling the little powder through their noses. What is wrong with people? Needless to say, the effects on overly sweet candy powder has on your nasal cavity are less than pleasurable. Fun dip inhaled into the lungs, nosebleeds, and all sort of health risks can occur. So please don't ever try this. Be satisfied with the little stick and leave it at that. Number 7, tamarind lollipops. Who doesn't love a nice spicy Mexican candy? Oh, you say, well, what if it were a Mexican candy that happened to be full of lead? Tamarind lollipops as amazing as banned, and they might be have been banned from US market from the same reason the toxic chew bar was lead. We all know how investigating a lot of lead can damage your brain and central nervous system, which can cause severe learning disorder and in some cases even death. Only the time an incident happened that made authorities act fast and swift. The lead poisoning threat came from an imported terminal candy lollipop labeled as Dulmex brand Bolerindo. The California Department of Health server began investigating the soft, dark brown terminal fruit candy lollipop after a 2-year-old Orange County child was found to have very high levels of lead in routine blood test. It was discovered that the child had eaten the lollipops prior to his visit. Two other cases of lead poisoning have been associated with this candy, so it was eventually banned. The candy wrappers, which some children often lick or chew, contained almost 22,000 parts per million of lead. The stick contained about 400 ppm of lead, and the candy itself about 2000 ppm. Proof that you can never be safe from toxic candy, even you don't even eat it. Number 8. Nestle Magic Ball. If you're a 90s kid, then you definitely know about the Nestle Magic Ball. These big hollow milk chocolate balls were extremely popular and could like to be found on any Just Kid wish list. Kind of like Kinder Surprise, the Magic Balls came with a little surprise toy inside, usually a small plastic figurine such as a Disney or Pokemon character. It was ultimate snack. What kid doesn't like getting a toy to go along with their chocolate? However, the Magic product was taken off the shelves in the late 1990s, much to every kid's disappointed. But why? Well, turns out in the USA, it's illegal to sell candy with a toy or a non-nutritious object embedded inside of it. Parents were also concerned that the toys inside the chocolate shell presented a choking hazard, and the thought of kids would have trouble telling the difference between chocolate and the toy. Nestle insisted that a toy was safe but ended up withdrawing the product anyway. In 2000, Nestle re-released the candy with a new name and a new concept. They were now called Wonder Balls, and instead of toys, they were filled with candy instead. But that idea didn't stick around for very long either.